Hey everybody, it's Dana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. Today I'm playing with this beautiful die set, and this is from Spellbinders called Miss You Swirl dies, and I want to show you how to make a very beautiful card with this. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to first bring in a craft mat because I'm going to be doing a little bit of blending this morning. So the paper I'm using is Bristol paper because I like how smooth it is. And I'm also going to be using 3 colors of Distress Oxide ink. I have Squeezed Lemonade, Cracked Pistachio, and Picked Raspberry. Now these are like my go-to colors when I think of happy colors and summer colors. I just think that these 3 blend beautifully together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So to know that I'm going to have the color placed down exactly where I need it to be, I'm going to pull in that die. And this is going to help me to make sure that I get a good color blend all over this gorgeous die without having a lot of white space left over. So I'm just going in and kind of just placing down some color, each one of them, so I know that within that beautiful swirl, I'm going to have enough color of each one. Now I'm just going to go back and do a little bit of blending. So I'm just coming in and I'm kind of going heavy-handed with this so I can get some very vibrant color. So first I started with the Squeezed Lemonade, and now I'm coming in with that Cracked Pistachio, just kind of overlaying it. And I'm also making sure to blend each color into the next one. So now I'm coming in with that Picked Raspberry. Now the reason I like to use Bristol paper is, to me, it gives me an easier blend than some other cardstocks I've used in the past. So now since I have that picked raspberry on it rather, I'm coming back in with that Squeezed Lemonade, and I'm just making sure to go over where my edges of my colors meet. So now I'm going to bring back in that die just to make sure that I still have a good amount of color, but I do need to add just a tad bit more up in that top corner, so when I die cut this, I'm going to know that everything is going to be that beautiful picked raspberry color. I'm going to come in a little bit more with the Picked Pistachio. And again, I just want to make sure that when I die cut this out, I have color everywhere. And then I'll come one more time in, and I'm going to blend over everything with that Squeezed Lemonade. Okay, that looks good, and I think I'm going to have good enough coverage on that. So now I can go ahead and spritz this with my water. Now I'm going to spritz it because, as everyone knows, or maybe if you don't know, if you spritz Distress Oxide inks, they make them become very creamy. So I'm going to blot some of that water up, and I'm also going to get those pretty water spots that we like to see in our distress inks. So I'm just going to hit that a few more times just because I want to really be able to see those water spots. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just going to dab off any extra because this is not watercolor paper. So now I want to dry this back, but you can see how really creamy that looks right now. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my heat tool. Now usually when I'm messing with my heat tool, I do want to make sure that I don't overheat my paper. And that's just because I don't want it to buckle too much. When I'm using my heat gun, I like to make sure that I heat the front and the back of the paper. And this just helps the paper to just evenly dry out and not get a lot of buckling in it. Okay, so now since I'm done, I can go ahead and bring back in my die. Now I'm going to be cutting this die a little bit off the edge, so it's not going to have the entire image on there. And I think this would just be a really nice focal point. Now, in order to run this through my die cut machine, I am just going to grab my scissors and go ahead and just trim this down, and then I can save that paper for another project. Alright, so now it's time to run it through the die cut machine. Now I have it cut out, and look how gorgeous this looks. Now placing that just on the side of the card really gives a little bit of a different look than using the whole piece on there, and it really makes this die become a stunner of a piece. Now to put this on, I'm going to use some Nuvo adhesive glue. I did not want to go ahead and use any kind of adhesive on this because adhesive, because this die is delicate, would be seen all throughout it. So just going through the lines very gently, just with that glue, is going to provide me the best coverage to get this die to lay down flat. So once I have all of that area covered, now I can go ahead and place this down on my card. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip that over, and then I'm going to line it up on the side, and I'm going to leave it a little bit higher on the card so that I have all of the design on there. And now I can go ahead and gently press that into place. And like I said, using a glue just makes this a lot easier than trying to line everything up with adhesive. And also I'm able to slide it into place if I'm off just a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, next I'm going to come in with the dies from this set. And I went ahead and cut these out several times just to give them a little bit of dimension. And to place these on my card, I like to use a T ruler. Anytime I'm using just individual letters, using a T ruler will help you get the letters set up correctly on your card. So all I have to do is bump this on the side of my card, and then I can go ahead and start lining up my letters. And this, like I said, just makes it easy that I get everything on here straight and I don't end up ruining this card in the end. So I'm just going to line everything up, and then I'm just going to grab myself some glue, and I'll place all of these on. And I'm just using my tweezers to assist me, and I'm actually using the multi-matte medium here. Just going to place that down, and now you can see how easy it was for me to line up that sentiment. And now I don't have my sentiment going all crazy on this card. All right, that looks good. Just going to pull that Y down just a little bit. Now, of course, if anybody's watched my videos, you guys know I need to add a little bit of sequins to my cards. So I just grabbed out some fun colors that I had in my stash to match the colors that I have on my card. I'm just going to sporadically place them just to give myself a little bit of color also on that white part of my card. So I'm using again some multi-matte medium to place down all these beautiful sequins, and look how gorgeous that looks. Those colors really work perfectly with these Distress Oxide inks. I'm using my Pick 2 as well to pick up each one of them and then place them back down. And this is a really great tool to use. If not, you can use tweezers. All right, that is the card for today, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to go ahead and show you the card up close so you can really see how beautiful that die is. Okay, you guys, I will see you a little bit later with another video. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.